ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be showing you how I play a 10-minute game, and this is just my thought process and how I'm going to play. So we get e4, e5, and I'm just going to develop my knight to f3. Just pretty standard development. So let's see what happens. So looks like we're going to be having to punish this McConnell Defense, is what it's called. And you don't typically want to bring your queen out early. So I'm just going to strike in the center with d4. And let's see if we can punish him for this. So I'm thinking, should I just develop? Should I recapture? I'm thinking maybe I'll just develop, or I can recapture. Yeah, I guess I will recapture. I predict he will try and... this is not a good move. Yeah, it's just blocking in his bishop here. So here, I'm thinking I'm going to take advantage of his pretty sucky development here, and I might just play something like knight c3, and I'm happy with the opening phase so far. And now, as if his dark-squared bishop problem wasn't bad enough, now he blocks in his knight as well. His knight is either going to have to go to a6 or d7, and here I'm thinking I will just develop my bishop and prepare castling, and I'm already in a much better position than my opponent. So he puts his bishop on e7, forming a battery with his bishop and a queen. But I don't really know what he's doing here, and I think castling is a good try here. And since I am so much further ahead in development, what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to try and trade off that much, and I'm just going to go for his king. This is just a disgusting gameplay. So I could ruin his pawn structure by just taking the knight with my light-squared bishop. And I said I wasn't going to trade, but his pawn structure would be doomed from there on. And that would win me material, actually, because after I capture, nothing's defending his c-pawn, so I can just take that for free. So I will grab his knight, and of course he recaptures, but he has doubled and isolated pawns here, so his structure is just completely cooked. Now we will just simply grab the free pawn. And we're a pawn up with better development, and I think it's time to start the extraction process on his king. So let's see what he plays. So let me think. My opponent here is just moving his queen, and this is just bad. He's not even attacking my pawn because the knight is defending, and I'm about... I'm gonna go on an onslaught now. So this pawn is definitely a target now, so I'm probably just going to capture the bishop, and then I will further attack the pawn. So let's see what happens. I'm thinking that the only benefit of him doubling his pawns is he has the b file, but he develops his knight, and now this is just a free pawn. I've calculated... Oh my god, I almost hung it. Oh, my queen. Okay, guys, this is why you think about moves before you play them. Yeah, so here, but if he doesn't defend properly, it will be a free pawn. And I don't think there's much he can do here after I just put my bishop on f4. What I meant to say was after I put my bishop there. Now he's just threatening a checkmate, and notice how I can't take because this pawn is pinned, and I can't move it up because then I would lose my rook. So I'm just going to put my queen here and defend the mate, and if he takes the pawn, then I'm just going to be winning material. And I'm attacking the bishop, so it's got to move. Okay, so he attacks my queen, and of course I'm not going to give him my queen, so I'm just going to, kind of pin this bishop. He's getting pretty aggressive on my king, but I'm just going to neutralize the position by, threatening to push on, I'm going to push on f3, and what I'm doing here is I am basically forcing his bishop to move, and it is pretty much a forced queen trade. So now there's no threat. Mate isn't threatened, and again, I'll just pick up another pawn. This time I am winning a tempo on my opponent's rook. Oh, okay. So he does take the open file, but I'm just going to keep attacking the rook, keep that pressure on him, and he can't just keep the file. Okay, so here we have to be careful because he has his rook on the 7th rank, and what we're just going to do now is put our rook here, and we're making sure he doesn't double his rooks because we have our bishop there. Okay, and I'm just going to keep making sure that he doesn't double his rooks by putting my bishop here. And I'm threatening some type of discovered attack. And then I'm winning. So I'm already up 2 pawns. And I should just be able to convert this into a winning endgame. So I'm waiting for his next move. And I'm just controlling this vital d8 square, making sure he can't just double his rooks. And now there is no discovered attack there. I'm probably just going to try and trade off the rooks and get the file, if you know what I mean. So let's do that, and I've just pre-moved the trade. And he is attacking my pawn. He's getting a little bit aggressive here. So I'm thinking I could... What is the play? All right. I'm going to trade off the rooks once again, and this time it's just pretty much forced trade here. And if he interposes with the knight, he loses the rook. So I'm just going to trade pieces while I'm up material. A tip is when you're ahead in material, you want to trade off pieces but not pawns. And if you want to win without pawns, you have to be 2 full minor pieces up or a rook up. Right now, he is just moving his knight here, and what I'm thinking about doing here is... I'm not a big fan of this move, so I'll just attack the knight here. So let's see what he does. I'm kind of hoping he pushes f6, because then I'm just able to trade down even more. Oh, but he targets my pawn here on my b2 pawn. But yeah, I'll just win another tempo. So let's see what he does. And now I think his knight doesn't have that many places to go here if he doesn't want to trade it off. So this is just not a very good move because my pawn is covering these 2 squares, my pawn is covering these 2 squares, and my pawn is covering this square. So let's see, how can we kind of trap the knight? Oh, and unfortunately I think this pawn is lost. My c-pawn is just lost no matter what. But I'm fine with that because I can just counterattack his pawn. And there's not much to do about it. And now his pawn is just simply lost. So the best option here is just to trade. So let's see if he does that. He does end up trading. Let's see what he does now. And I just want to make a point of saying his knight is pretty far into my position here. So I'm hoping maybe I can trap it. Ooh, okay. So he's attacking my pawn once again. But it's not even working because I can just attack his knight here. And you can see this target of my pawn doesn't work because my knight is there. So let's see what he ends up doing. Okay, so he's moving his knight as well. Here we're going to try and trade off our bishop and knight. And if he does that, then I will be quite happy. Let's see. Okay, so he's targeting my bishop, and I can't just do nothing because then he takes, I take, and then he wins a piece, and he's just winning. So here we are going to probably just move our bishop back. I'm fine with doubling my pawns because, he does end up taking. So he's just targeting my pawn once again, but I can just push. I push and then I'm happy. So he's attacking, so I'll defend. And let's see what he ends up doing. All right, so now we want to activate our king because in an endgame, you want your king to be active. So just keep developing, king e2, go here, attack the knight, see what the knight does. Okay, so let's see, I think I'm going to be trapping the knight somehow, but I'd rather just keep activating my king. My opponent's king actually can't go that far. Okay, so he wins a pawn, but I'm just not really caring about that. So I'm just going to push my king over to the A file, pick up the pawn, and then just win the endgame. So let's see what happens. Yeah. He's just attacking me here. I don't want to lose my bishop, so I'll go here. See if he trades. Trading is not good in this position. But let's see what happens. Alright, keeps attacking my bishop over here, so let's just move my king. Is he going to try and repeat moves? Nope, he's not. Going to attack his knight. And let's see what he will do. I am getting a bit low on time, so I hope I'll be okay here. Takes my pawn likely. I think taking the a3 pawn is a good try. Or king takes f3 is also not bad. Here I'm going to go here. He gives a check. I'll simply attack the knight. So let's see what he will do. His knight's got to move here. Okay, knight goes there. We push our pawn. We're going to go here. And notice how there isn't this check because then I win the knight. So he's got to do something about that. Oh, and his knight is trapped. Whew, let's go. We're just even more winning now. And I bet he's going to take some time here. Forgot to capture the clocks, but I have 1 minute 40 and he has 3:40, but he resigns. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.